It's outside of Flagstaff, like midday heat. I thought I had heat stroke. I was struggling, slogging my way through this, feeling like I'm half dead. So I get to the top of this mountain. I look at my pacer, Alex, and I'm just like, that's it, man. That's everything I had. It's wet, it's dark, it's cold.
What did that feel like?
My mind just was gone. And apparently I asked it, Alex, like, is this real? Is this happening? And
Are we actually here?
yeah, like, he's like, oh yeah, you're still doing Cocodona.
Chase, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing, well, I thought I was doing pretty well until I realized we were 20 minutes in and I hadn't recorded anything yet, but I feel like off camera for everyone else, I've gotten to know you a little bit.
It was a good trial run anyway. At least I have some kind of idea of what's going on here now. Yeah.
I know you just recently did a pretty big one. What was that?
I did the Cocodona 250, which is a 250-mile ultra marathon in Arizona, starting from just north of Phoenix and ends in Flagstaff. So 250 miles. And I did that back in May.
How long did that take?
Almost 5 days.
Okay. Do you sleep on the side of the trail, or do they have maybe a cot set up at the aid stations?
They did, but the greatest thing about this is they also let you leave a tracker at the aid station, and you can go, if you can get a room somewhere close, you can go nap in a room.
Really?
So I really took advantage of that a couple times.
Okay.
However, even with that, I think I slept 3.5 hours over those 5 days, and I tried to sleep more.
Mm-hmm.
I tried sleeping in one of the cabins on top of a mountain, and it was shivering. My teeth were chattering, and I tried sleeping on the side of a trailer, like on one of the aid station chairs, and it's just too cold.
When you get to that point, is it you're just kind of so fired up and you know you're not going to be able to sleep, so you may as well just keep moving?
I think the sleep is really necessary for like maintaining just everything, because I would find if I did get a little bit of sleep, it would like refresh me. So I would definitely, I kind of wish I slept more, but you're right. The first night I ran through the night and I didn't try sleeping till I was 27 hours into the race in Prescott, Arizona. So that's after going over the mountains. I was 127 kilometers and over 5,000 meters climbing into the race. And I'm like, okay, I need to try napping. And I was so wired up that I laid there for the first hour. Then I did sleep for a bit. However, like I wanted an hour and a half. I think I got 20 minutes. So,
but there has to be something said about even just that hour you're not sleeping, you're not moving.
You're resting is what I feel too, right? You're off your feet for a bit and try to elevate my feet a bit as much as I can to try to move some blood around.
Get the blood out of them. Yeah. Your feet get pretty beat up on that?
They weren't as bad as I thought they would be. However, the swelling by, I think, day 4 was awful. Like it took 2 people to put my shoes on for me and my socks.
Were your shoes too small at that point?
Yeah, and that's the one mistake I made.
Okay.
I need a size up. I should have gone one size higher just for those last couple of days, but this was all trial and error for me. I'd never done something like this, so lesson learned. Definitely could have used a size up, and socks too. So my wife and my friend were like pulling my socks up to get me back out on there the last day. So
you have any blisters or anything that have to get lanced off? Or
I had some pretty nasty blisters at one spot, because thing is, for the first time ever during this race, they had a bunch of rain and mud. So I was diligent about taking care of my feet, but some sections you're just away from your crew and all your stuff for so long that mud and things get wet. So I did get a few blisters on there, and there's one spot my wife had to, bless her heart, she was poking them and popping them for me, and it was excruciating, and I'm sure not her ideal vacation, but I mean, she did it.
What keeps you going? You know, you're 50, 60 hours in, your feet are all beat up. What's going through your head?
It's a good question. I think I didn't look at it as one big thing. I would look at it as sections. So it's like I can get to the next aid station, get to the next spot where I could see because my wife and a couple friends came down. I mean, it was just made it so much more special. So I was like, get to them. And a lot of it, I could have a pacer. So I would have a friend with me, and it was like distraction. And then just get to the next spot. And I would look at it. I never looked at it, the enormity of it. It's like, oh, if I looked at my watch and saw I have, 400 kilometers to go, I'm not going to make it. If I look down and see, it's 17 kilometers to the next aid station, that's doable. And I would just compare it in my head to some kind of run I've done, and I would just keep going. And then I just enjoyed it. As weird as it sounds, it's like you're away from everything. So nothing else is on your mind except for all you have to do is keep moving.
I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to push yourself through that. And part of that is just being in the moment and certain kind of crazy, but like you want to be out there, right?
I wanted it. I really wanted to be out there. I wanted to experience it. And I seen this as a documentary. I said at the time, I had barely ran 20 kilometers and I seen this documentary and it seemed absurd. Like, how do people do that? And it turned to like this obsession of mine where I want to do that. How can I do that? So it was years in the making to do bigger races and train myself and push myself to maybe it's realistic. And I just found it was the time to do it.
At what point in your training, in those years leading up to it, did you realize that it was realistic?
I don't know if I ever did, to be honest. I actually signed up for it last year when the race was going on, the 2024 one, because I recognized that it's getting popular. And I was like, well, if I push it off, it might get too popular that it becomes a lottery like a Western States or one of these that gets hard to get into. And I was like, I just want to do it. And I saw this opportunity where I had these amazing people in my life where it's like, if I'm going to do it, I have people that will come down and support me. I have people around me that are just, I felt like I had the good support and good people to train with. And I believe life is short, right? Like you never know what's going to happen. If I push it off another year, who knows, right? Maybe I get injured. Maybe it's like, just go
Hit
for
by
it.
a bus.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually going to say that. So funny you went that route. But I just figured go for it.
No, for sure. I like to kind of view life as, it's great to have a long, healthy life, but it's not, at the end of it, it's not the length of it, but it's the depth. So what did you do along the way?
And I figured if I do this, if I experience this, this is something I'm going to remember forever. Well, the parts I do remember.
The parts that you didn't black out because you're kind of delirious at
There
points,
is, there's definitely some hallucinations and interesting things I seen that weren't really there, but
So it's been going on 5 years now then?
This was the 5th year of them running
year.
it, yes.
Okay.
So the inaugural year was the documentary I watched, and I couldn't get it out of my head. The terrain was so different. It was so unique, and the characters that were in this video they made, I was like, it seems really cool. Like if these guys can do it, why can't I do it?
And up until that point that you saw the documentary, what was your longest run or race at that point?
I think it was probably maybe 20, 25K. I think, I said my first one was in 2021, which was 18 kilometers. And I think by this time I saw that maybe I had done a trail half marathon or something. But
where do you think you'd be if you hadn't seen the documentary? How do you think it would have played out differently?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought of that. I probably wouldn't have got so intense into training. I would probably just ran casually on the weekend or something like I used to be honest. That's a really good, I never really thought that.
Because what is there, like under 200 people that did it this year?
There was 190 something finishers. I think 315 or something lined up to start. And then the crazy conditions this year with the weather, which I'd never experienced, I think forced a lot of DNFs and then the slightly longer course and some new variations they put in there. I think it definitely made it a little tougher than any other year they've done it. I mean, that's easy for me to say. I've never done the previous years, I guess. But
I mean, if you average that out, there's probably less than 1,000 finishers over the 5 years.
Yeah, that sounds probably right.
Yeah. And as it gets more popular, eventually there's going to be 1,000 people at the start line, and unless they cap it at a certain amount.
They do cap it, and that's what they do, but it sells out so fast. So the wait list last year, I think, got up to like 500 people.
Okay.
I had another friend that was going to do it, and he was like 187th on the wait list or something. And it's like, yeah, that's not probably going to happen.
Okay. Leading up to this, how many, like, what was your biggest race kind of before this then?
100 kilometers.
Okay.
I did, however, do that 50-50, which was like 130 kilometers over 2 days.
Yeah.
But one single run I did a 100-kilometer run was my longest.
And was that in this year or was that last year?
There were 2 of them I did last year.
Okay.
So one was in Oregon in April, and then one was in the desert in Arizona outside of Phoenix in October.
Was that to try and get used to the terrain and stuff?
Yes, and my ideal situation when I was going to sign up for Cocodona was there's a race called the Javelina 100, which is the one I did in October. And I was like, I want to do that first and see how I do in the heat because I don't know how I'm going to handle that before I sign up for Cocodona. However, when I realized it's going to sell out, I have to sign up for this one before actually going down and running the one in Arizona. So there was a lot of pressure on me in October to hopefully I don't hate this
and perform. And
yeah, and it happened to be the hottest day they've ever ran. They've been running that race for probably like 20 years or something. I mean, might want to fact check that, but it's been a while. And it was 42 degrees at one point in October. Guys were like collapsing on the trail and medics everywhere. And I was like, what have I got myself into? But I was okay. I did okay. I heat trained. I had some good advice and it paid off. I did okay. So
you got two big races, one where it was the hottest they've ever had and another one where there's actually rain and it's never happened before.
Yeah, I joke about that with people is you don't want to do a race with me because you're going to get some extreme. Like I did what you just said, then I did the Diaz Vista in Port Moody 50K, the wettest year they've ever ran it. I did Squamish, the smoky year. It's like, don't do a race if I'm doing it. You're going to get something weird.
I feel like you could appeal to like a subsection of the ultra running community. Like, hey, if you want it hard and you really want to push yourself, just look and see what races I'm signed up for and show up.
Yeah, you're going to get some kind of extreme. Even I did chucking out the 50K as one of my like training runs this year with a friend. And I was telling her like, oh, it's beautiful. I did it in 2024. It was a sunny day. It was like 22 degrees. Course was amazing. You get these great views from the ridge. Do it this year. It's soaking wet, freezing cold, mud, just disgusting.
Well, I guess you know that you can perform and finish in these less than ideal conditions. So when you go out for a race and there's perfect conditions, you know how you got through the other ones. So mentally you're going to be tougher and it should be a breeze then, right?
Yeah, I would think to some extent. I wouldn't say anything's a breeze, but yeah, it definitely
in comparison
is one more variable you don't have to worry about if you actually conditions are nice, of course.
Yeah. So you would have 2 tickets then for Western States Punched, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. When your name gets drawn, is that one you want to tackle?
I would if I got into it, but I mean, of course. I mean, everyone wants to do that one, right? But this one, Cocodona, oddly was the one I really wanted to do. So that's my qualifier, which is hilarious. Like I picked the hardest qualifier possible for it. So no, of course. I mean, if I got drawn, I would be definitely going.
Yeah, I think what is it? The math is like if you have 8 or 9 years in a row, you're basically
guaranteed. Yeah. However, I know guys that have had like 64 tickets and haven't got in, and yeah.
Oh man.
And then I know guys that have had 1 that have got in. So it's just so much of it's luck, right?
Well, that's why they call it a lottery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But isn't it once you have so many, if you're not drawn, you're brought to the top of the wait list?
I would think so. I think there is some kind of stipulation over a certain amount of time. They're just like, yeah, you've been trying for so long. Here you go, right? Yeah. I would assume they do that.
Yeah. For all the listeners that don't know what Western States are, can you explain that to them?
Western States is like the original 100-miler and the most popular 100-miler in the United States. So it has a huge following, and it's like the one trail race that pretty much every trail runner in North America wants to get into. So it's got the reputation and the fanfare around it, and there's a big lottery that you do these qualifiers to try to get into, and Cocodona is a qualifier, which is kind of funny that a 250-miler qualifies you for a 100-miler, but
because it's through the national park, and then because they had the race there before they set the rules that you can't run through the park, they said, okay, however many entrants there were that year, that's the max.
That's the max, yeah. So I think it's 300. Is that right?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
Because it's capped for sure, and that's why it's not one of those races where like you can let your friends in. Like Cocodona, it's like Aravaipa runs it, and they're fantastic, like amazing. The 8 stations and the way that was ran was incredible. But their buddies can get into Cocodona if they want, which is great. I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, if it's your race, you should be able to do what you want with it. You would think, right?
Yeah, I know at Western States, if you can like buy a sponsorship and you run like an aid station, and then but it costs a bucket of cash, but then you can put like a racer or 2 in.
Oh, is that true? Yeah. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that, but that does make sense. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if there's many seats that way. I was reading about it before about how people got in, but yeah, pretty wild that it's this race and it's this beautiful one and everyone wants to do it. But I guess that's some of the allure of it, is that it's so hard to get into.
I think it is. I think it is like a lot of Western States is to say you did Western States,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of it's like, oh, I did Western States, which is like the big race and everyone wants to do it. Where I think you're right. Like, is the course better than any other course? Is it better than Cocodona? Is it better than,
It's probably worse than a lot of the newer ones, I would think.
probably,
maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Like, is it even better than like the Squamish 50 course? I don't know. I haven't done it, but I mean, there's so many nice courses out there. But I think you're right. The big allure is to say you've done it. You got in. You did it.
Yeah. So what's next for you then? Taking the summer off?
I'm taking the summer off. I haven't really done much. I mean, I'm still running every day. Or not every day, but most days. Just not really doing anything overly challenging, and no races on the schedule right now. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm motivated that I want to do, which I find is a bit of a challenge after doing something this big. It's like, I don't know what I want to do. I want to do Cocodona again.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I want to do. But
Maybe motivate to beat your time, or to maybe recover faster afterwards?
yeah, maybe. That's probably what I did wrong, really. I didn't really have a recovery plan. And I thought going into this, I had a great system. Like my training, I had a friend train me. She's like a great runner, Janelle. She's out in the Sunshine Coast. She put together a plan for me, and it was great. But I didn't do anything after. And maybe I should have. Like, I don't know. I just was like 3 days later, I was in the Grand Canyon. Like, you want to go for a run? And I did. Like, me and my wife and a couple of friends went for a run. I wasn't moving fast, but it's like, then I just kind of eased back into it. But I didn't really like think of a plan for after.
I think probably most recovery plans would have you do some sort of movement afterwards. Maybe not a Grand Canyon run, but
In fairness, it was like the outside of the paved section.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like go in there and do anything crazy, but
you weren't going rim to rim or anything.
no, that's actually something I want to do.
There you go. There's
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
Do rim to rim.
I would love to do rim to rim. Maybe next year.
Why not this year? Go back down there. Do it when it's cool in like November.
That would be pretty appealing, but maybe next April.
Next April.
That would be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I got to figure things out. I mean, there's so much out there, right?
Yeah. How do you go about picking another race after doing such a huge event?
That's what I haven't done yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So it's like I almost just want to do that again. Like I said, just to experience that again. Because I might hit the course at different times of the day. Might be a totally different experience for something that big, right? Sections I ran at night, I might run in the day. I don't know. I think that's why people go back to it. There's just like something intriguing about it. And there is so many things that you maybe can improve. Like you said, fix your time. Like, okay, now I know the area. I'd never been to most of those towns. I'd never been to Sedona before I ran through it, which is part of, I did that intentionally. I wanted to see Sedona so bad that I was like, I'm saving it for the race. And of course I ran it at night, and it was like this magical, like stars everywhere, full moon almost, with my friend who flew down from Port Moody, and we're just like, he got there and that was the first section he paced me with. Oh, this is amazing. I'm so glad I waited to, because I could have driven down in October and seen it. I'm like, I want to wait.
Yeah, to have that experience.
Yeah, so I think there's just like that course is so massive that there's so many different things you could see that you probably missed or forget. So I don't know. I'm intrigued to do it again. I really want to do it again.
Maybe a yearly Cocodona could be a motivator, and then because like, was it Western States? Once you finish like 10 times, you get like the special buckle and everything.
Well, yeah, they do have the 1,000-mile buckle for 4 Cocodonas, which would be cool. But I mean, I'd have to clear that with my wife. I don't think she wants to take a vacation and go pop blisters on my feet every year. It's a big ask.
Yeah. Is she a runner then too?
She runs, yeah. She doesn't do the crazy stuff I do, but she did the 30K when I did the Javelina 100K. She did the night run, which is 30K around the desert at night, which was cool. I'm super proud she did that. But yeah, she runs. I mean, she gets out there.
Have you guys always been runners? Like when you were kids, did you track or?
No.
No?
I'm never a runner. I was never a runner till a few years ago. So which is why it's so weird that I do this now, because I don't really think of myself as a runner. Still, I'm just like some guy that
runs.
Yeah,
not a runner, but some guy.
Yeah,
that
because
runs.
I don't know a lot about running. Like I don't know a lot about, like you said, track. Like I don't run on the track. I I did like have a plan for the first time in my life leading up to this, but anything else I've done, I just wing it. Just like, oh, I'm going to run this many kilometers this week, and that makes sense. Now I'm like, oh, this guy, he's this runner. So I'm not really used to that, but
Yeah.
like I was never a track guy. I was a baseball player growing up.
Okay.
I wasn't a runner.
Yeah, just from home plate to first, the running.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, not like, I mean, you like running the track for hours at a time.
Maybe the word like is very loose there. It's, we did the fundraiser in the middle of January.
Yeah.
And it was cold, and I knew that anything outdoors, the participation and the donations would have been much smaller.
Yeah,
So that's why we chose that venue.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been a tough turnout out here. Because you guys get a lot more snow and it's chillier out here, hey?
Well, we don't get actually as much snow as people might think. We are a semi-arid desert, so it's just it'll get colder. Like we get a cold snap like minus 20 for a week or two, but even the last couple of years, it's been, I don't know. I think we were above zero for like all of December, so it was super warm for here.
Yeah.
But still, people don't want to wet outside, and they don't want to come donate at that. They want to go somewhere dry.
Yeah, of course. And you can just sit there and be comfortable. People like a controlled environment. Yeah.
So seeing the documentary got you to want to do the big one, but then what made you actually get into running at all if you never were a runner before?
Honestly, we lived in Edmonton in Alberta for like 7 years. And growing up, like I grew up on the Sunshine Coast in Paul River. Okay. And then I lived out in, Vancouver area for most of my life. And we moved out to Edmonton in 2012. And I found I never really adapted to the winters. I never adapted to the climate. I just didn't get outside enough. So I gained a lot of weight. I was like 280 pounds or something. And
wow.
I know it's hard to see now.
What are you right now?
I don't know, like 175 probably.
100 pounds.
And I just never, I was getting big and I don't want to say lazy, but I guess I was getting lazy. I'd just go to work, come home. I worked a lot of hours, come home, eat dinner, and then like, I don't want to go outside and walk. It's cold. It's like, so what do you do? It's like, I don't want to drive anywhere because it's snowy. It's like, I'll just sit and watch a movie. And I found that I gained weight and I just got, like, my motivation wasn't there. And then we bought our house and they had this treadmill in there. I'm like, leave the treadmill. I put that in the stipulation. I want that treadmill. I need something to get me going. Because I'd go to a gym, but I'd go to the gym and, because I used to be pretty big too. And then I just would lift weight. I didn't know enough about cardio, right? I didn't want to run. I just didn't really, it didn't appeal to me. And then, I don't know, I got that treadmill and I started running on it. And then I did a 10K. I did a 10K in Edmonton and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the half marathon next year. Then I got hurt. And I just kept getting injured because I was running on the road or I was running on a treadmill. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to keep getting hurt. And maybe this isn't my thing. Then I got into hiking. So we would go to Jasper or Canmore or whatever and hike because you got to get out of Edmonton. Just got to get out of there. Got to go do something outside where it's stunning and beautiful. And we had these places we could drive in, 3 hours or whatever. So I would just hike and I started liking that. And I was like, well, maybe I can do that faster. Because I would see people run by me. I'm like, those guys are crazy. Like, how do they do that? Like running up Sulphur Mountain in Banff or something. And I'm like, that'd be so cool to do. But I didn't have anybody. I didn't know anybody that would want to do that with me when I lived out there.
And were you still pretty big at this point?
I was still pretty big, but I found I could get up a mountain pretty quick, even with my size. So I was like, I still move pretty fast. And we moved back. I started losing weight before we moved back because I just running and being as healthy as I could, just trying to drop some weight, made some diet changes. And I found I was losing weight. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep with it. Then we just got outside, kept hiking, and then we moved back to British Columbia in 2019. And I was like, I'm not going to take it for granted this time. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to experience, all the North Shore Mountains. I'm going to go to Squamish, Whistler, these places that I lived so close to when I lived in Vancouver. I never went to these places before. Just never appealed to me until you take it from me. Now it's like, oh, I miss all that, right? And now I'm going to really take advantage of it. And then I'm going to sign up for a trail race. And then 2020 hit and everything got canceled. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not going to ever get into trail running because I didn't know anybody. That's the thing about it. You have to almost go out and meet people at the trails. Like now there's rent clubs and there's all kinds of stuff like that. But when I first moved back, it's like I had my friends that I used to know from here, but nobody ran.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, hey, you want to hang out and grab a beer and sit at the beach? And like, sweet, but just want to be more active, right? So it just kind of spiraled from there. Then I signed up for one race and I met a guy who was like, oh, you want to come run with me in North Van? So we started running. And then, I mean, I wouldn't have the friends I have if not for my wife being much more talkative than me.
Are you the introvert and she's the extrovert?
Unless I'm comfortable around, like I have to be talking about certain, like this is fine. Like I'm comfortable talking about running and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not going to go up to people and chat. Like I'm not going to go meet people like that. Whereas we're at the end of a race and some guy comes up and, oh, can I sit by you? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And so she's like, I got off of this, how I met my friend Alex, who I ended up running. He ran 130 plus kilometers with me in Arizona.
Wow.
And I wouldn't know him if not for her. Like she's like, I got up to get a beer at the beer garden after this 25K race I did. And I'm like, who's this guy sitting over there? Like, oh, I don't want to talk to somebody. And I go over there and now he's like one of my best friends I've ever had. So it's just the community is what I find. Like you get into that trail running community, it's different than the road.
Yeah.
That competitiveness, I mean, I may be at the front, but I'm not at the front of the pack. But the competitiveness isn't there. You just like, everyone's trying to help each other out.
Yeah. Yeah, more camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've done any like these trail runs at all, or what your background is for.
Yeah,
for that.
I've done probably 12 trail races and then lots of trail runs.
And are you fast?
No.
So you're like me. You're like in the middle, and you're like talking to people, right?
Yeah.
So you know that feeling when you just can easily pass miles by just meeting somebody on the trail, and you talk, and then your buddies after, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you might run together for an hour and then they're like, I'm going to speed up or I'm going to slow down. You're like, okay, see you later.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling. And I found that was just such a neat thing about that community, whereas you do a road run, like nobody cares. Nobody wants to talk to you. They're just like looking at their pace, right?
Yeah. I've done one ultra on the trails. I did a 50K and I'm running through it and I'm ended up running with this woman. And she's like, I'm going to slow down. She's like, you're faster than me. You go ahead. And I'd been alone for like 2 hours. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm gonna run with you. I need someone to talk to right now.
Yeah, because you start getting in your head, right?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I did out here at Stake Lake. They have the Heartbreak 100.
Oh,
so
cool.
they have 100K and then they have a 50, a 25, and then a 25 night.
Nice.
And then I did the 50K. I was massively under trained for that.
Everyone is for their first one. I think that's part of it, right? You don't really know what you're doing. You just kind of figure it out when you're out there.
Yeah. Leading up to that, I ran 2 weeks before. I went out there and did 40 kilometers, and then 2 weeks before that, I went out there and did 25, and those were my two longest runs leading up ever to the 50.
You basically what I did. That's for my first 50. That's basically what I did. I went around Bunsen Lake a couple times, and I was just like, "Oh, that's good, right?"
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know, right? I didn't really know what I was doing. And you think back now, and you're like, "Yeah, I probably wasn't the greatest strategy to basically run 50K before running 50K."
Yeah. I just did it just to see, like, mentally.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can get to 40, I know that I can walk the last 10 if I have to.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. It's like if I hit 42. I hit the marathon. I'm like, I've never done that. I saw my watch hit that. I'm like, cool. Now I know I can finish. And it's like, I probably just like wore out my legs training on one long run when I probably should have just done, something like more consistent weekly mileage build up, like kind of like what I know now, right?
A little more intelligent training.
Yeah, but just like you, I just winged it the first time. You're just like, yeah, let's do this. Because it is a mental thing. And I find like people are like that too. You want to see that number. It's like, I'm going to go run 25K for the first time. You want to see that you can do it and then go run it. Whereas like, if you can run 20, you can run 25. Just like if you can run 40, you can run 50 because you could walk it out if you had to. Usually the cutoffs are pretty generous at a lot of these trail races. I mean, not all of them if they're qualifiers or whatever, but most of them give you a nice cushion where, I mean, someone like you're fit enough. You can walk it out.
Yeah. I know I got to the end and they're like, yeah, it's done. And they're like, you did the 50. I looked at my watch and it was 48.8. And I wanted it to get under 8 hours. And I don't know, I had 12 minutes or something, and I was like, in the parking lot, like I have to have the 50 on the
You had to
Strava.
see 50 to get
Yeah.
you get the Garmin badge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you say that 'cause I remember being worried the first time I did it. It wasn't actually going to roll over. I remember you don't want it to go too far either. That's another thing because you don't want to see 50 and then be like, oh, I got 4 more kilometers to
Yeah.
go when you're already like worn out. But yeah, I remember when I saw my first 50 was Deception Pass and like Anacortes, Washington. Beautiful course, and same thing. I saw it hit 50. I was like, is it gonna make it? I could see like I'm getting close, and it hit 50. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Now I got the badge. I got the Strava's gonna say 50. That's an ultra.
Yeah. I actually made a wrong turn when I was out there because for a lot of my training, the 2 longer runs, but some shorter ones too, I just went out there just to kind of get used to the track, and like part of it you go through like snowshoe trails, so it's a little more technical, but everything else kind of around where I lived was either up or down, but it wasn't technical. It was wide and kind of rolly. So I'm out there running, and I'm just la 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 la, and I just naturally started running one of the routes I'd already done, and then I'm going. I hear, hey,
Oh no.
hey, and I'm like, what? They're like, you're going the wrong way. And I was like, oh shit.
It's just like the last thing you want to hear on it.
So I'd probably gone about a kilometer off course, and then I could see the other person. So I just beelined it through the bush. And I mean, it's not like a big race like Cocodona or something. If you're off track, you have to kind of snake your way back to make sure that you finish the route they have. It's a fun one. So I just cut through. And
Even then, I think it's only if you're like competing.
yeah,
Like I don't think they care what guys like us are doing.
yeah, and you're not going to care about the 5-minute time penalty or if they
it's
choose
like,
to enforce it.
Oh no, I finished 167th instead of 153rd. Like I don't think they can. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they do.
Is that what you finished? Was 153?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like 109th or something. I don't know. I'd have to double check. I'm not really sure. Again, I might be made up too.
But you finished.
I finished is what I really was concerned about. Yeah.
When you were out there, did you see anyone that was in like pretty rough shape?
Yeah, quite a few people. I seen quite a few DNFs. Like remember the first night a guy came into one of the aid stations there in the first night, and he like was having trouble breathing. They got him out of there, and then you'd see people just like wobbling. I remember this one guy, I was going through this real tough stretch. It was hot. It's outside of Flagstaff, like midday heat. I thought I had heat stroke. I was struggling. Like I was a wreck. It's one of the sections I couldn't have a pacer, one of their new course reroutes, and I'm just like, it was a service road for like 25K. It was awful, like the worst part of the course. In like exposed heat. And I'm just like slogging my way through this, feeling like I'm half dead. And I come across a guy who's like, I don't know, he was using his poles and he was like swaying. And then he was like, looked like he was going to collapse. And he looks at me, he's like, looking great, man. I was just like, better than you. Like, but I don't feel like I was kind of hung around like, you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, I've done this before. And
yeah, this is my natural cadence actually.
yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah. So it's like daunting when you see it, right? Mm-hmm. You see these guys just falling down, or like it was, oh, I need to nap, and guys would just like pull off the trail and like just lay down under a cactus for 20 minutes to try to feel better. So yeah, there's a lot of people looking rough out there. I don't think anybody was really looking good, especially the further out you get, right? It was a weird thing because you're just kind of, you see the same people. So you're at these aid stations, which are a lot of them in like cabins in the woods or whatever. They had some real cool setups. And you see the same people, and you're just like this community now. It's been like 3 days, and I'm like, oh, there's Caitlin from the first night again. Hey, how are you? And we're like drinking coffee and, you know, having a quesadilla or whatever in some aid station on top of a mountain in somewhere in Arizona. And it's just like, just this weird, different world. It's like you don't know what's going on in the outside world anymore. It's just a strange feeling.
During that, did you disassociate at all, like lose touch with reality and kind of delusional along the way at all?
I really did the last night, like right before I finished. Like I had to go up. So they put this, people probably aren't familiar with the course, or maybe they are, but they put this big climb right in Flagstaff right at the end. So 250 miles or 248 miles in, you got to climb a mountain. And it's Mount Eldon right in Flagstaff, and it's not easy. So in the past, they made you go up this technical route, and then you basically cruise down a service road. For some reason this year, they changed the course, and you go up this never-ending switchback and like 1,100 meters gain over whatever kilometers it is. And then you got to go down the super technical section
Oh, okay.
on your broken legs. Like you're just shattered, right? So I get to the top of this mountain. I look at my pacer, Alex, and I'm just like, that's it, man. That's everything I had just to get up there because I pushed and I could feel it and it's hot. And we get up there and I'm like, that's it. You got to get me off here. I said to him, you got to get me down. And he's like, okay. So we go down and it's just like, it was worse than I was expecting. Like we're basically like crab walking down boulders. And at this time, I'm like, people are probably seeing me because the live tracking was great and there's these people following me, like, which was, I'll get into that later, but I was just like, they probably think I'm going to be done in like an hour because I'm like, oh, he's so close to the finish, but it's just a super technical descent, which is like when you've been out there for 250 miles already and your legs are just shattered and you're trying to go down, there's no way to go fast.
Yeah.
So I get down there and like I had this crazy deja vu, like I'd been there before. Like I just kept thinking, I was telling Alex, like, I know what's around the next corner. I know what's coming. And he probably thinks I'm nuts. And he's not saying he's not saying anything. He's just like, I don't know, humoring me and just like, yeah, sure, man. Like just try to get me out of there, right? And then we get off the mountain and for some reason, I mean, because of the past course, I had it in my head, I was basically done. So I'm like, oh, how come I'm not done? Like, where's the finish line? And I still had to go through another aid station, another like 7 miles.
What did that feel like? That what was the real? How do you feel when that realization comes?
This
through?
is when I started to lose my mind. Nightfall hit, and I was still certain I'd been there. I'm trying to tell Alex there's going to be a bench over here, and so what was happening was I was like instant deja vu, which I didn't know. A friend of mine looked it up after. I was explaining this to him, like, what happened to me, and he's like, oh yeah, that's like sleep deprivation. So, and then I'm seeing faces everywhere. Which is creeping me out. And I'm not saying anything to Alex. I'm just like moving along because I have my poles and I'm just like, I don't want to tell him like I'm going like I don't want him to think I'm nuts because I've been seeing stuff for a while. I've seen like cactuses that look like gates and houses and that weren't there and rabbits and cats and all this stuff that wasn't there like the whole way up this mountain. So now I'm going down at night and I'm really starting to hallucinate pretty bad. So I can't tell him. I'm just going to keep moving. He's not seeing anything. He's not saying it's not real.
It's not real. Yeah.
So you start to get used to like, as weird as that sounds, that you know it's not real. So you just keep moving. And then it got real bad where I'm like, I had to call him like, Alex, I know this isn't real, but I need you to come look at this. And he pauses and looks at me and it's like, what's going on here, right? And I'm like, I'm seeing his face on this log. And as I'm explaining it to him, another one popped up and I like yelped out and I was just like, we got to go. It's like, you got to get me somewhere where I can lay down. And he's like, there's nowhere around here. Like we're just like in this back trail, which was like this horrible maze of a trail that we were trying to navigate our way. It just kept feeling like we were going to get out and then it'd be like another uphill, another turn. And you're so close to town, like you can almost hear cars, but we can't get out of this maze. And then we get to the last aid station, which was like 3 miles from the finish. And I'm like, I got to lay down. No, we can't do that here. Just because you're so close to the finish. So it's like,
so were you actually not allowed to rest there? Or like
it was just, they didn't
like,
have it.
Going?
They didn't have a setup. So they didn't have cots or like a lay down station here. And I'm just like, well, so Alex went and told the aid station captain, he's hallucinating real bad. I could hear him like whispering and I'm laughing. I'm like, oh man, I'm that guy. Like, so we're just like, yeah, I got to lay down. I was like, I just got to close my eyes because I want to remember. And I was worried that I wouldn't remember the finish, that I would just be too messed up. So I was like, I want to remember the finish. So I actually sat in this chair and I put a blanket on and I closed my eyes for like 10 minutes. And another woman who I recognized from the race, I could hear, she came into the aid station, was struggling too. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me. Had like a grilled cheese and like, look, Alex, like, you got to go. We got to go. We got to finish. Let's get out of here. It's getting cold because he's waiting for me and he's freezing cold. We're still wearing shorts because it was so hot, right? So then we get out of there, and I mean, that helped. But the thing I would do differently is I would probably try to rest sooner so I wouldn't get to that state because you just, like, my mind just was gone. Like, nothing. I didn't know. I knew what was happening, but I was getting worried that I was starting to slip into, like, is this even real? And apparently I asked Alex, like, is this real? Is this happening? And
Are we actually here?
Yeah, like, he's like, oh, yeah, you're still doing Cocodona. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's not just a nightmare. You're living it.
Yeah. I don't know why that appeals to me so much to go back and do it again, but
yeah. What's your mindset when you're going through or like coming up to a race that when you know that there's going to be these struggles that you're going to have to go through?
It's just, you know, it's going to be bad. And I think you think of the reward. is what I think I do. I just think of like what that finish line is going to feel like. You feel like you earn it even more. And that's what I kept telling myself is if you get there, like think how sweet it's going to feel when you push through all that and like actually you're done, you did it. So it was just like motivation to keep going. And you know it's going to suck at times. You know it's not going to be easy. And then you know there's going to be those good moments where you're going to cruise and somehow your legs revive and you're running and you're on day 4 and it's a beautiful sunny day and you're with a friend and you're like, oh, this just feels like a regular Saturday. So yeah, I think you just know there's going to be ups and downs just from experience, but not to that extent, I guess. But
Do you think now that Alex has seen you go through Cocodona, does he want to do it?
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he does. I would love to see him do it, but
Would you take a year off from the race then and then pace him?
absolutely, yeah. If he did it, I would go pace him or run it with him. That would be cool.
Laugh at him while he's hallucinating instead of the other way around?
Oh, he didn't laugh at me, so I would have to be kind.
Well, you might have been hallucinating so much you didn't realize it.
That's true. I think he was pretty stretched then too. I mean, I don't think he went in there envisioning that I was going to run he was going to run 135K with me, because I had another pacer, Tom, he did almost 100K with me. That's what's crazy about this race. I couldn't have a pacer basically until I got to kilometer 125, miles 77, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So then I met Tom. That's my first pacer. He flew down from Kimberley and met me, and I hadn't seen him all year, so it was like this great thing. Revived me. I was like, after the long night, I'm like, let's go run. Tom's here, and then he got kind of a bad draw. He got the rainy, muddy, like not the most scenic section. So I mean, good for him. He toughed it out. He paced me probably almost 90 kilometers himself, and then my wife jumped in and ran 25K, like leading into Sedona with me, which she says is the only time she'll ever be faster than me until she does it again. And then, yeah, after that, Alex, I was going to alternate, like, I don't know who I was going to use. And so Alex flies in, he gets there Wednesday. So I'm already 2 days in. And when he landed, he met me in Sedona basically. And I ran to Sedona from Phoenix, and he drives up, and we didn't know at the time who was going to do what. And I was just like, Alex, we're clicking real well. We're moving well together. Are you okay if I just use you for the next day? And he's like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Let's go.
Just great personality, great reaction. I think he just wanted to keep moving. I think he was enjoying it, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if he did it himself one day.
For the section that he paced you for, how long did it take to cover that 135? Do you know, or a guess? I'm just trying to think how long he was awake for that period.
Well, he got a couple breaks because there was a couple sections where I couldn't take a pacer. There was 2 sections, which is new this year because of, again, permitting for this endangered owl.
So only so many people can kind of go through
Yeah,
that
so
area.
they had permits for the renters only, so you couldn't have a pacer. So he got a couple breaks, but I mean, it's not like he got a lot of sleep. So he probably spent almost 2 days with me without, like, he maybe got a couple hours sleep on that too. So I think that's probably the hardest thing he's ever done up until that point. Yeah.
That's I mean, there's not many people that run even 100Ks, but to go out there where the only, glory is to make sure that you can help your friend go through it. That takes a special kind of someone.
And that's why I said I felt this was the right time for me to attempt this, because I had these people in my life that were just like Tom and Alex and, even Cheryl. Again, I wouldn't know these people if not for her. And just having these people in my life just made it like, I got to go for it. And even I said, Janelle training me and coaching me, like, it's huge just to like have advice from a friend that's actually like knows stuff, or instead of just me like, oh, I'm just gonna go run today, like
See how far I go.
yeah, she's like, no, do this and this is how you're gonna be successful. And it was just like structure, and like I had these people in my life that I'm like, I have a chance. Even my friend Louisa that ran so many like training runs with me, she would get out there and just like, hey, you want to run twice on Saturday? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. Because she knew what I was going for. And it's just like, I have these people in my life. It's like, I have to go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done it otherwise.
Yeah, I think when people think of these long distance events, they don't really realize how much extra support there is. Like, yes, you're out there, you're putting your body through pretty crazy thing in your mind, but there's the aid stations and there's the pacers. And this is something that I learned when I did my track run.
Yeah.
Is we had a little aid station set up there for myself, and my mom came down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she ran for about half of it with me, and then the aid station was there, and I would just run by. I'm like, I need electrolytes. And then when I come back around the next lap or two, they'd have a bottle for me with electrolytes. And
That's
then
sweet.
next time I was like, just water, and we're going. And Mom's like, you have to eat. You have to eat.
I was gonna say, did they have food? Yeah.
Yeah. There was a ton of food, but I lived off of, I think I ate like 30 of those Uncrustable sandwiches.
Yeah.
And it's up until then, I trained a lot with like eating Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah,
and that's what I liked. I
love Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I don't really like the goos.
No, they're gross.
You open them and then they're sticky on your fingers, but I think for the first 4 hours it was just like Sour Patch Kids. I didn't want anything, and then as we got deeper in, I would just stop and have like a can of Coke and
Just, that's the magic fuel, right? Like that's the just rejuvenates you.
keep going and then she's like, gotta eat real food and there's potatoes and stuff. And I was like, Mom, this is what's working for me right now. It's not upsetting my stomach. I'm just gonna keep eating these Uncrustables.
Yeah, you just got to roll with what works, and that's what I find too. I mean, I'll go into it like I'll bring potatoes sometimes. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it's like I don't touch them. Sour Patch Kids always. It's funny you too with the. I mix them with. I make my trail mix, and it's Sour Patch Kids with pretzel goldfish, and I put them in a bag, and I just every run I do, like long run I do, I just have that as my trail mix. It's just Sour Patch Kids. I don't know what. I guess just sugar, right? You just want that, and it doesn't. It's better than having a gel.
Yeah, and they're cheap compared to the other ways you can supplement on the trails, right?
Exactly, and that's what I find. You can get a lot of that stuff, and you get the energy boost you need, and it doesn't. Yeah, you're not spending $8 for like 2 gels.
Yeah, and I like it too. Is as it's warming up and it's against like in your chest pocket, then they get a little softer.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Yeah,
because I've had it before where maybe I'm not hydrating as well as I need to, and I go to chew, and I'm like, man, it's a lot of energy. To
you can't
jaw.
swallow. Yeah.
It's like almost like peanut butter in your mouth, and I'm like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and trying to eat it back, and yeah,
It's true. Yeah, that's why you find these things, trial and error, right? The more things you use, Sour Patch Kids, birthday cake bear paws is the one I like to use. They're soft; they just melt in your mouth. You got to find these little like hidden things.
I like Rice Krispie Squares too.
Yeah, Rice Krispie Squares work.
They dissolve instantly.
Yeah, that's true. That's what you want. Yeah.
I tried one time. I didn't think it through, but I was running in the winter, and it was wasn't cold. It was like -6, but I brought Skittles and with the hard shell,
like
and then they
rocks.
froze. Like, oh, these aren't gonna work.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Something freezes.
Yeah, luckily I was running out here at MacArthur Island, and I just ran to the gas station and I bought some candy
Nice,
and then ran back.
That's a good option to have. Yeah.
What did I do? It was like a 30K I had to do, and I hadn't had caffeine for like 4 months at that time, and I was just kind of get off caffeine for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna use some caffeine today. So I went and I bought a can of Coke at the gas station, and I ran back to my truck, which was my aid station, and I shook the can up and I opened it and just left it in the truck, and then I ran another 5K or so when I came back, and the fizz had gone down.
So it's flat.
And I had maybe a third of that, and I was boom, like just wired.
It's a good strategy, actually. Just get, you don't have to drink as much to get wired up. I was surprised how little caffeine I used, actually. It's like when you could really, I drink a lot of coffee. I mean, not like I used to, but I mean, I had a coffee right before I came here. So my second, two at least today.
Energy drink.
Yeah, I see that. I was going to say, I think that's an energy drink you got there. But I like an iced Americano. I'm drinking that. So I'm daily drinking these things. Get out and I don't like to drink coffee before I go out. So I'll have just a little bit. Like I just take a little from the hotel. I'm like, I just want like a little. I took like 3 sips. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I basically got through the first day, and it was like the first night, I'm like, now I need something. So it's like Coke or Mountain Dew was working great, because Mountain Dew is just like jolt your system.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I had some of that, but I laid off. I was surprised. Even my wife said that. She's like, I'm surprised you didn't drink as much caffeine and you were actually functional. Because if I don't have coffee, like even today, if I didn't have coffee, I'd be miserable right now.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah. So good for you to like wean yourself off it for like months before you did that.
I was having way too much before that, though. So it was a good kind of reset, and now I'm back to my usual dose.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you weigh yourself before and after Cocodona?
I wish I would have, because you're like the 10th person to ask me that, and I really wish I would have. No, I didn't. The only place I would have gained weight was probably my feet, but no, I didn't even think of it. It's funny, and I should have, because I've been asked so many times.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to keep up the amount of calories you're burning.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like it was like 45,000 calories or something is what my watch said after. Like I had these crazy numbers on my watch and my Strava. There's a big spike for and all these weird things on there that just for those 4.5, 5 days, just like everything, nothing in my body made sense. Like because I use a Coros watch now, so the app was just like you look at it, and it's just like hates me. It's like what have you done to yourself, right? Like your body battery minus whatever. Like go to sleep, basically.
Yeah, I remember after I did the 85, and then my watch is like, you shouldn't train today. It's like 0% recovered.
It's worse when it says like unproductive. You go do this big thing and it's like your day unproductive.
Yeah, you didn't do anything today. You just sat on the couch.
Yeah, yeah. Would have been better off sitting on the couch.
The only other time I'd seen numbers ever that low for recovery scores was the first time I got COVID. I was using the Whoop at the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it gives you like a percentage score, like so you're in the high like 80s. Like, yeah, you're great to do some hard training today. And the first time I had COVID, and I wake up and it's like 0%. It's like you shouldn't do anything.
Is that because your sleep? It like measures your sleep. And...
Yeah, it measures your sleep and it like your HRV and stuff.
Oh, so it just knows you're not right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
And it's I didn't really listen when I wasn't sick to the data because it kind of fucks with your mind. Like it says you got 20%, but you shouldn't do anything. Which is like I feel great, so I'm not going to do that. But at the 0, I definitely felt like a bag of dicks.
So
it was correct then.
So that's what it said.
0%. You're a bag of dicks.
Yeah,
actually.
perfect. Yeah, it's just really upfront. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the version that where the filter's not on.
That's good. Yeah.
Negative reinforcement filter.
Nice.
So yeah, did during COVID and stuff, did you keep up all the running, or did you get into a slump at all, like a lot of people did?
I think that's where I ran more. I think that's where I mostly got into it, was just because what else can you do?
That's when I got into running, was
it's like
during COVID.
I just started running in the bush because it's like, well, that's open. Like I would actually just kind of cycle around. I lived in East Van at the time, and I was like, I would just hop on my bike and go to a brewery, grab a beer, and go for a ride. Well, I can't do that anymore. It's like, I'm just going to run. I'm just going to go out in the bush and run. And I think it helped me, right? And then it was so nice because there's no traffic anywhere. So you could just go drive. Nobody was out. So I
get there much faster.
Yeah, I found that it was just, that's probably where I really got into it. Yeah, much like yourself. Yeah.
As you've gotten more into trail running, and there's probably a few of your priorities in your life have changed, as training for that race, it was probably all training all the time. Has your like friend group kind of changed along the way? Do you still have friends from, before running now?
Not really. That's the weird thing, is I found that I have my friends now, I think, are the best friends I've ever had. Like I said, the most supportive, the most active, like get me out doing these hard things, challenge me. And I don't really have a lot of friends from before now. I find that I've just kind of lost contact. There's one guy, but he runs with me. Yeah. One guy I grew up with back in Paul River. I run with him every Thursday, and I don't know if he didn't run, would I still hang out with him? Probably, just because we talk baseball and sports and whatever, so it's cool to catch up. But other than that, no, I kind of dropped all those people, which is, I think you're right, just your priorities change. And I don't want to say other friends would, they were bringing me down, but I just feel like I have the best people around me right now. And
well, what is it? You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with?
That's a good saying, yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah. If there's 5 people, if you're in a group of 6 and the other 5 smoke, guess who the 6 smokers are going to be? You.
Yeah, exactly. It's smoking, alcohol, whatever it is, right? That's a good point. I like that, yeah.
Do you drink much outside of kind of socially after like a run club? Or
not really, no. I just go for a beer here and there at a local brewery or something. I'm not going to go out and overdo it. That's not really my thing.
Yeah, my mom's talked a lot about like, we do like the brewery run and like they run.
Yeah, the one a year in December. It's not as bad as you think. It's like a flight, so you get the little sampler.
Oh, so there's like 4 of you and you each get like 5 ounces or something?
Yeah, it's not like you're pounding a full pint and then running to the next one. I wouldn't be able to do that. I know actually with friends last night, they were talking how they do a beer mile every year. I don't know how they do it.
So they would run a mile, drink a beer, run a mile,
and then
drink a beer.
Yeah, so you run around a track, you crush a beer, and you do it. I was like, I'd throw up probably the first one. Yeah. Like, I don't know how they do it. Just the thought of that in my stomach. I mean, just doing the little beer run we do, the H4H, where I know your mom from, it's like, it's just a taster, and like you can feel it sloshing around after a couple of those. So
I think I saw on Reddit the other day there was a guy just set the new world record for the beer mile.
he did. I saw
Yeah.
it too. I think he's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many miles is that? It's not just one.
No,
Yeah.
it's.
Is it like a half marathon or?
I'm not certain.
Imagine drinking 21 beers and running.
God, no. No.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, maybe. I'd have to check that. And it's funny because we're talking about it last night and the number has escaped me. So yeah, it's got to be closer than that. Maybe 8. I don't know. It's definitely not a half marathon. I hope not anyway. I don't know how you'd even function.
Especially if you're trying to break the record and you're going fast. But I mean, if you're going that hard, maybe your body's metabolizing a little more of it.
He was drinking the beer in like 10 seconds, right? Like he would drink it and then just go. Like ran hard, like a 4-minute mile after pounding this beer. And I don't know how that's physically possible. Like think how hard that used to be to run a 4-minute mile. It was like impossible. Like, what was that? What year was that? Like the 80s?
The 4-minute, I know thinking of the 5-minute. I don't know when the 4 minutes started to get broken, but
it wasn't that long ago. And now there's guys drinking beer and like rivaling that. It's
crushing
insane.
it. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. Just training is different now, I guess.
Speaking of that, has your training changed over the last years at all as like new modalities are coming out, or there's better shoes or better nutrition? Have you noticed anything on your side of thing with how you recover or train with that?
Not really. I mean, I used to wear different shoes. Now I wear Nordas now. I've been wearing Nordas mainly because they last. And I ran out of the 400 and ended up being 420 kilometers. I think I wore one pair of shoes except for 12K of it just because I had to cross a creek. So I wanted to get those ones wet and switch them back. So I've just been using, I think the shoes are better. I mean, quality, you could pay a little more, but they last longer. So it kind of evens out. But no, nothing with my specific training. I just run further, I think.
Yeah.
Run more. Whereas before I would just go run. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason to it. I would just be like, I'm going to go run loops around this trail and do 7K today. And now there was no reason for it, right? Now it's like, okay, I want to run this many kilometers a week.
There's intention with them.
A lot more than there used to be. And that's after like having my friend coach me for Coca Donuts. Like now I have more knowledge that I didn't have before. Not that I'm still like this guy that knows a lot about running, but I have some idea now of what not to do, more importantly than what I should be doing. It's like I know what I shouldn't be doing.
What would you say would be the biggest change that happened between shoes and nutrition for how you're feeling and how you're training now versus, a couple of years, 5 years ago? Like what made the biggest impact, I guess?
I would say probably, nutrition, because I had no idea. Like those first trail runs I did, I remember like I'd get to an aid station, just grab whatever. Whereas now it's like I bring my own stuff, like you said about, or we're talking about the Sour Patch Kids and whatever. I find out what works for me and what's not gonna upset my stomach and what's gonna go down easy, but also give me that and the nutrients I need. And I use that Tailwind, like they mix the Tailwind
For your electrolytes and some sugars,
yeah,
right?
and it's got enough I need that I find if I'm, especially when it's hot and you don't want to eat anything, I find just like that way I can get like at least liquid nutrition and it's something. And that helps me, whereas before I didn't use that stuff. I just have like water and, maybe drink some Coke at the aid station.
And probably not enough water to either.
Not even close. Like I found that out too when I was starting to get trained. I'm like, I don't drink nearly enough. I don't eat or drink nearly enough. It's like, you got to fuel and hydrate. Whereas I would go run, especially on a colder day, I would go run 30K and like barely touch my water or like eat nothing. And I'm just like, oh, why do I feel so weak when I finish? It's like, wow. What'd you eat?
Nothing.
I had a cookie at one point.
Yeah.
Like I had a donut before I went out and a banana.
There was
like,
a lemonade stand along the way.
Yeah.
Like help the kids out.
Yeah, exactly. So I found that's been a big difference is like actually paying attention to what I'm consuming and almost bringing more than I need, which before I would prefer to run just like minimal. I still prefer to run minimal, but it's like being smarter about it, right? Like, okay, I should probably drink more water, especially when it's hot, and have some sort of salt, have some sort of fuel, whatever that looks like, whatever I feel like at that time. I don't know until I'm out there, but instead of just being like, oh, I'm out here with my running belt and like 250 milliliters of water that I'm probably not really going to touch, and I'm just going to go run all day. And it's like, oh, well, finish feeling like garbage.
As there's been more research coming out and people are moving more to like the super physiological levels of like carbohydrates in an hour, do you kind of know how many that you should take in, or do you experiment with that at all?
I don't really. I mean, for what I do, I just kind of stick to what I know. Although, having said that, during Cocodona, I actually ate real meals at all the aid stations. Not all of them, but I was eating like dinner. Like they had full like lasagnas and quesadillas and these real like aid stations where they're feeding you. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to. They always say don't try anything new on race day, right? But when your race day is like 5 days and you got to eat something, and
You can't carry 5 days worth of food with you. I mean, you could, but it's gonna
I
suck.
can't eat nothing but like birthday cake bear paws for 5 days. It's like, well, I got to try something. There's no way to not try anything different. So it's like everything was a bit of a gamble. And I'm like, okay, I never had any issues, thankfully.
Yeah. No GI distress or anything?
No. So I
Wow.
was,
Okay.
but I would also I wouldn't overdo it. I'd be like, okay, like grilled cheese. I know if they have grilled cheese, that's not going to bother me. I can eat that, or like a quesadilla or something. But I had one aid station, they had like this tortilla soup and it was cold. I was so cold. I'm like, that's a risk. And I'm like, it's a calculated risk. I was like 200 miles in. I'm like, I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to see what happens. I was fine. But I was like, that's a risk I wouldn't have taken if I was running 50K. I would be like, no way. I'm just sticking to what I know, right?
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're going to be out there for 6 to 8 hours, 12 hours, you can kind of get by with what you know. But once you start going past 24 hours, it's like, you got to roll the dice a few times.
Yeah. Especially if you get to an aid station and you haven't been hungry, and all of a sudden you smell something, and like, say you never had a grilled cheese while training before, and you smell it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm starving. Like, go ahead, eat the food,
go
right?
for it. I mean, it's probably like the worst advice. Just, try whatever, right? But no, it worked. I mean, but again, I didn't overdo it. Like I would be hungry and I'm like, okay, I know I shouldn't eat 4 of those. Even though I want to eat 4 of those, I'll have one and I'll take one to go.
Yeah.
So I just have like a pocket grilled cheese for with the gap between aid stations. You're like, all right, I got to go up this hill. I'm like,
How do
that.
you stop yourself from not gorging when you're 200 miles in? Would your pacer have to help you to remind you, or were you still coherent enough?
To an extent, yeah. Like my pacers were good at that, but also it was more, I just didn't want to risk having any stomach issues because I was like, whatever I'm doing is working and I want to keep doing it. So it was more like, I thought I would be worse mentally, that I would rely on, my pacers to guide me, that I would be almost like a child out there from what I was hearing other people saying. And I'm like, okay, no, I still had enough in my mind that I knew what I should and shouldn't be eating, at least. I mean, my pacers would go get it for me and treat me like a child. I'm like, here, eat, right? Which was great. But I would also be like, no, I don't want to eat that much.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to risk it. I'm feeling good enough. And then I can eat, a snack when I'm out there.
Yeah. So at least with your pacers, like they would go up and grab the food, and then maybe there was other things up there that you didn't know about that might have upset your stomach, that you might have kind of maybe
Could have
taken
been,
that risk. Like I don't know if I could have done the tortilla soup. Like, was it spicy?
It wasn't bad. I mean, that's what I was concerned about. But I was just,
The acid reflux going on.
I was a
in your
little
run?
concerned that might happen, but it was just so cold and it just looked like this like beacon of light in the middle, because it was, I don't know, sometime in the evening outside of Flagstaff, and we hit this aid station. It was just a tent, and they had this like Mexican woman in there making quesadillas and tortilla soup, and it's like felt like a mirage, right? You're like, is this real?
Is this real?
Yeah, and I'm like freezing cold, and they had like a bonfire there, and like, sit down, yeah, we'll bring it to you. So they actually like brought us, like treat you
Okay.
like you're in a restaurant, like bring us, like me and my pacer, a couple of, just look like we've been in the woods for days, treating us like we're
Like royalty. Almost.
royalty. Yeah, like here you go, here's your meal. And like, I'm just like, I don't know if I should eat this. But it's so warm and it feels so good. And then it was hard to leave that aid station because it felt so good. And I'm like, no, okay.
So that was that the best aid station that
No,
you went
it's
through, or for like
one of
how
my
you felt with it,
favorites,
though?
just
Yeah?
for like the memory of it, just because I think at the time it was what I needed. So I don't know. There was so many cool ones over the journey.
I've read a bunch of ultra running books, and some of the stories they have of like they go into an aid station and there's speakers and like a DJ and like but
Yeah.
they're in the middle of nowhere, and like, how did you get all this here? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
they
you want
do
a
that.
beer?
It's weird. I know they do that. Like especially Aravipa was doing that. Like they would have light setups and some of the cool stuff. Like when you come in and the speakers are playing and cool music. You walk in and you're just like
The whole vibe.
Yeah. Some of them were in like these cabins they had set up, like kids camps or whatever they were, like summer camps for kids, but you're in these mountains and like that's the aid station. You go inside and it's warm and it's outside, it was freezing and you come in and it's so comfortable and you're like, it almost feels like you're in a ski lodge and there's someone like feeding you and you're like, oh, I got to go back out. So that was always tough. You didn't want to get too comfortable. That was what I found. Don't get too comfortable because if you get too comfortable, you're not going to want to leave.
But I mean, that might go in your favor though, because you're saying if you were to do it again, you'd want to make sure that you sleep more. So maybe there's that one aid station where it is that vibe and you're that comfortable, and that's what your brain needs to kind of turn off, and you're like, oh, this is where I'm gonna get that hour of
That's
sleep.
the spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not the one where it's just a lean-to and there's a guy roasting weenies over the fire.
Yeah, that's not ideal. No.
That's not the one you want to sleep at, right?
Definitely not. You don't want to be in the elements. But.
Do you know ahead of time, like obviously you know where the aid stations are, you have your little map, but do you know like this one's going to have a cabin at it or this one's going to...
Yeah, they give you that information in the renter's guide. It was like they had a ton of information. It was so detailed. So I could plan where exactly, if I needed to lay down, where I could do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say because when you're planning for this, again, I've never done something of this magnitude. So I'm planning for it and Janelle, my coach, made me the spreadsheet. She's like, fill in like all this information of what you think you're going to want. And I went through it. And I'm like, okay, this is my estimated time, just so your crew has some kind of guideline. So I was filling it all out, and I'm like, is this going to happen when I'm out there? Probably not. But you got to have some kind of guidelines. But it had that, and like I took the information, so I knew which aid stations had options to sleep and which ones. They even give you the food menu.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Of what and I didn't look at it too much, to be honest. And I just figured when I get there, I'll figure it out. But they had that on there. So I went through it all, and I just kind of made this plan. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sleep here. I'm going to do this. But then day comes, you don't feel like sleeping there, you know?
Yeah, the best laid plans, right?
Yeah. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. We had to sit at one aid station because a thunderstorm rolled in.
And you were not to go out?
No, they held everybody.
But if you were already out, were you supposed to seek shelter, or were you allowed to keep going?
I luckily didn't have to figure that out, but no, you just kept going. I mean, if you could shelter somewhere, but you're out in the elements, or I was getting ready to leave too, and that was the one part I was kind of down because I was ready to go. I checked out, like you had to do gear checks and want to make sure you have your headlamp and everything because night's coming and warm clothes. So I get everything checked. I check out of the aid station. I'm just about to go, and this black cloud comes in like thunder and lightning, and I look at the aid station captain, and I was like, am I okay to go out there? She's like, oh yeah. I was like, you sure? And she's like, oh, actually, let me check. And it gets back, she's like, yeah, they said it's going to be like 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. I put my stuff back down. This was the Satisfy aid station. I don't know if you're familiar with Satisfy renting.
Is it nutrition?
No, they're like high-end clothing.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have like...
heard about it on podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really... So they rent an aid station at Cocodona, and so they're from France, and they do this, like, they try to make it memorable. So they put these fancy chairs, and they gave you cutlery, and they had like a charcuterie board. So they really make it like feel like you're well taken care of. And me and my friend that were running through there were like, oh, I'm looking forward to this aid station. So we get there, we laze around in the chairs, eat some snacks, and then, okay, time to go. We check out, and then the storm rolls in. So like, oh, well, at least we're here. So we take our vests off, sit back down. And the storm came in, and the rain was so heavy that the aid station actually flooded because you're just in this open field, and like the water ran up. So we had to pick our vests up, and I ran. Cheryl had we had our rental vehicle there. So we ran to there, and I sat there, and that storm we were told would be like 15, 20 minutes, ended up going on for an hour. So I was just sitting there, and I couldn't sleep. It just felt like a waste of time because I'm just sitting here like in the front seat of this Kia SUV, and I couldn't lay down there because it was full of our stuff because we're in between hotel stops because I booked hotels along the route for my wife and whoever wasn't pacing me at the time so they could have somewhere to sleep. So it happened to be the in-between time, so the vehicle's full of all our stuff, so there's no way I can lay down in it. So I'm just like sitting in the passenger seat, like watching the storm, like getting a little antsy. Yeah, and that would have been good if I could have got some sleep there. It probably would have helped me, but I mean,
Were you worried about like cramping up at all sitting in the
I was worried
vehicle?
about everything there, to be honest. I was worried about like going back out and getting blistered because it's all wet. And I just like did all my foot care at that aid station. Oh, great. Now everything's going to get soaked again, you know? I was worried about, yeah, cramping up sitting for too long in this vehicle that as soon as I get out, as you know, if you sit after doing any length, everything stiffens up and it's hard to get moving. Yeah, I had a lot of concerns there, but I mean, I got through it eventually. I was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was still raining a bit, and I just said, Tom, who was pacing me at the time, I was like, we gotta go. Let's go. We had to go climb this mountain. I was like, just go do it.
Yeah, get it over and done with.
Yeah, and
no sense sitting around anymore.
And it luckily the rain died down after a little bit, but there was a few kilometers we got pretty wet. But
Now that you've done a 250 miler and it was, you know, wet conditions, you get rained out in a section, the aid station floods. Do you feel like you could conquer anything?
I don't know about anything, but I feel like day-to-day life challenges don't seem as hard, you know, like when you go to work and it's like some enormous task, it doesn't seem like it's that hard to deal with anymore. I think my mindset's changed, or things that used to like, oh, that's going to be so hard to do. It's like, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I've been through worse now, I think has definitely changed in me.
And was your mindset changing as you were kind of leveling up to Cocodona, or did you have a big shift afterwards?
I think leveling up to it, like with all the training, because you got to remember, like I trained basically January to May. And as you know, Vancouver area, Tri-Cities where I live, it's not the greatest. It's wet, it's dark, it's cold. And I would run to and from work a couple days up and down this hill. And then I would just go do like double runs on the weekends. So I was running like 100 to 120K a week with 2,000 to 3,000 meters elevation at least, sometimes a lot more, in just like terrible weather and like short days. And I think just going through that, everything just like my mindset was just like, yeah, I felt stronger mentally, like I can deal with almost anything.
Were you a pretty chill guy before you got into running?
Depends who you ask. I mean, probably not in my younger days as much, but no, not sure I am the most chill guy. I think I am now. Like talking to you, it'd have to be, it's a setting, right? I don't like crowds. Like I just like quiet. I think that's probably a big part of why I got into rent, especially in the trails. Like I was just trying to find quiet. Like I used to go sit at the beach and relax. Have you been to a beach lately, especially in Vancouver area? It's not relaxing.
Packed, isn't it?
It's packed. There's somebody with a speaker. There's somebody, you know, doing whatever. It's not relaxing. You can't find parking. It's like, okay, well, that's not relaxing. So maybe I'll just go hike in the trails. And you go hike in the trails and you got groups and people. So you got to go further out. It's like, well, if I go further out, then I'm gone all day. So if I start running, I can get back at a reasonable time and I can just blow by all that at least and get to those quiet spots. And
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I think that is maybe why I started getting into it. I was trying to find, like, I'm so relaxed when I'm out in nature and I'm just like on a trail and you're, you know, it's you or by yourself or with like a couple people you care about that you get along with. You're just like, it's paradise.
That inner peace.
I think so. And I just find that when I'm out there, and then you come back to reality and, you know, in the North Shore and there's Vancouver, North Vancouver, and you're like, oh, great. Now the parking lot's full. There's people everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I already went out. I'm good now. Like I can deal with everything else now because I've had my time.
Do you find that you have like a busy mind? Are you like tick, 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 tick all the time?
I think so. I think that's why I don't sleep the greatest. Like there's always things in my head and not trying to sound weird or anything, but yeah, I think
it's pretty common for people. Yeah.
I think I tend to overthink everything. I think I just think too much about stuff, and I think about outcomes of like, oh, what happens if I do this, and whether it be, you know, life and conversations you're going to have with people, and you know, even driving here this morning, like that's why I just got up and went, because I'm like thinking about it last night, like, oh, if I leave this time, when can I avoid traffic? When can you know? So I always think about every outcome as best as I can. So yeah, I would say that probably is something I do. Then when I'm out running and I'm in, just follow the trail. It's easy.
Did you take that kind of mindset and thinking going into Cocodona, and then did that help you prepare to maybe be a little safer or to plan out where you wanted to sleep and that sort of thing?
I think I did. Yeah, I think it's just the way I am. I don't think I can't not do that. So I think that's Cocodona is pretty much, once I signed up for it, it's like I tried not to think about it for the first bit because it seems so overwhelming. I'm like, I'll train for it when it's like time to really get into it, because it's like I signed up for it a year before the event. I was like, oh, I got lots of time, and then it's like, oh, it's New Year's. Now I really got to start training and get into it. And then once I'm training, well, it's all I'm thinking about. Like I'm at work and I'm paying attention, but I'm also like, there's this big thing that I can't not think about because there's all the logistics with Cocodona. It's like, well, when I'm out on the trail, where's my wife going to stay? Where are my pacers going to stay who are coming down to help me? Where are my crew going to be, right? Like, how do I make sure they're taken care of? Because I don't want, like, it's hard to crew as, I don't know if you've ever had crew. I mean, you did for your...
My mom, basically, my mom and my wife did the whole thing. I couldn't have done it without them.
Exactly. So you rely on these people. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them, too. So if you're doing this thing where you're moving around, so it's a point to point. It's not like I'm going to end back. So we get a hotel in one city and we're good the whole time we're there. It's like, I got to figure out where, you know, my wife and my friends are going to be, because I don't want them to have to worry about it. They're coming to support me for this thing I want to do. It's like, I don't want them. So I'm like, already in January, like, where am I going to put them? I got to figure out hotels in these towns in Arizona that I've never heard of. Like Cottonwood, Arizona. Don't even know where that is. I'm on a Google map, like, oh, there's a hotel here. Let me book something for her.
And is that going to be a good spot for where I'm in the point for running to get to the next station?
And convenient for her. And am I going to be there at the time I think I'm going to be there? So there's like, also like, I have to factor in the check in and out, because it's like, well, what if I'm behind schedule? And then she's going to have to drive like an extra 40 miles to this town, and I'm not there yet. So there's all the stuff working through my head, right? The logistics of it were daunting, but actually it came together pretty decent considering. But there was all that stuff. So yeah, it was always in my mind, right? Like just trying to figure all that out. As soon as January hit, I think that's pretty much was like the big thing in my head. Yeah.
So I'm going to start getting up at 3:30, go to the gym, and then I go straight from the gym. I go to work, get to work around 6:30, and I'm supposed to get off at 4:30.
Yeah.
But right now they have the construction on the bridge. So if I leave at 4:30, I'm stuck in traffic for 40 minutes, or I leave at 5:20 and there's next to no traffic. So I'm working like 10 and a half hours every day.
Those are long days.
Yeah. But my most productive time is in the morning. But I want to spend more time on the things that mean a lot to me. So like things like maybe working on the podcast, or I'm trying to write out like a framework for how I solve problems, because I want to be able to give that to other people. But if my most productive time is in those mornings, so I'm just going to shift it, get up at like 3:30, work on that for an hour and a half or 2 hours, then go to the gym and then do my day.
That's nice. You have that option. I find if I could just like work 8 hours, but pick those 8, like even break up those 8 hours, I'd be probably way more productive.
I think so, probably, yeah.
I think that's just, not everyone's wired the same, right? So I think if I got up, went for a run, worked for like an hour, went for a walk, did something else, came back, and then would just be like, because I'm the same way. I like to be productive in the morning, and there's just, you kind of hit like a wall, like at 10 a.m. Like, I don't want to work. Just kind of like, I want to break. So you work. I don't really work traditional. I'm kind of on the road a lot for my job. I'm in Vancouver, like kind of going from site to site. So I don't really have a set schedule, but however, I have to be at work between 7 and 3:30. But if I could break that up and say like, what if I'm at work from 7 till like 5:30, but a couple hours of that I went running or like broke it up the day, I think I'd probably be way more productive. But it's just not really the...
Yeah, there's a theory and train of thought about, so say you work 10 hours every day and you're grinding. Eventually you get to the point where in those 10 hours, you're probably doing 6 hours of work, right? So what you need is, so say you break it up and you work 8 hours, but it's not all in a row, but maybe in those 8 hours that are all in a row, you're actually doing 6 hours of work. But if you were to break it up, maybe in that 4 hour section, you get 5 hours of work done. You break it up, that next 4 hour section, you get another 5 hours of work. So you're actually getting more efficiency out of your time.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, because I feel like that with the weekend too. Like if I had an extra day, like if I had Monday off every week, I'd probably be so much more productive on like Tuesday instead of like, oh, okay, well, especially guys like us, because we're up early, we're doing something. I'm up early Saturday. I'm usually going for some kind of adventure that takes me 4 hours for a run or possibly longer if I'm training for something. And now it's like, okay, I'm exhausted at the end of that. Come home, shower, eat lunch. It's like my day's almost gone. Go do something in the evening, and then Sunday you're doing all your tasks, right? The weekly tasks that you put off, getting ready for your work week, laundry, all that. And then you're back to work. So it's like, where did I rest in there? If I had Monday off and then just like went to work Tuesday, and then you have that extra day in the middle that just kind of like do like an easier, fun adventure, and then go for a bike ride or something else, and then do your tasks on Monday, even like half day. It's like, I feel like I'd be so much more productive because I wake up Monday and I'm like, I didn't rest on the weekend. I think other people that aren't like us, who are so driven by activities, maybe.
I would wonder though, on the flip side, is so like every weekend it for me is like jam packed. I'm not resting. And so with my injury, I found this RMT, and he used to do strength conditioning and RMT with like the BC Lions, Hamilton Tiger Cats, lots of big universities. And he says a lot of people that he works on are like executive like management and stuff. Their downtime on the weekend is going for a 7-hour bike ride, is going skydiving, is going hunting, is going for big trail runs and hikes and all this kind of stuff. But they're not actually resting. They're like kind of living up in that stress continuum as well. So, but I would wonder if I had an extra day off, I think I would actually, just the way I'm wired, is try to jam more in.
And you're probably right, because I think I would do the same. I say that, like, I probably, if I had every Monday off, you're right. I'm not going to just sit there.
No.
Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to take it easy and sit around. No, you're right. I'm going to go.
You probably can't sit around, can you?
I can't.
No.
That's the problem. Even sitting here for this long is rare. After driving too, I'm like, this is a lot of sitting today. That's why I went for a walk before I came here.
I'm always jammed, and then my wife would be like, "You're never home on the weekends." I'm like, "Well, there's just so much to do. Like, I just want to keep go. It's whether it's to the dump or there's a run or it's 4 a.m. and I'm at the gym and she's like, "Are you at the gym?" Like, it's like 7. Oh yeah, I'm already here. I'm like, I'm almost done.
I didn't expect the dump to be the first thing you went with. That's the first thing on your mind. We're going to the dump.
Well, where we used to live, the dump was in Dallas there. It was like right up behind us.
Yeah.
And then they're open on the weekend. So say you go to Costco, and anytime you go to Costco, there's way too much recycling afterwards, right? So then your bins are full, and then the bins here, or they take the recycling 1 week and then the garbage the next. So you'll have it sitting for 2 weeks. I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to go to Costco again, and I might not have the opportunity next week to go. And then you got to stack. I'm like, just throw it in the truck. I'm just gonna do it. Get it done, right?
See, I can't even go to Costco. It's too crowded.
Too busy.
I drove by there today, actually, coming into town, and my wife said that. She's like, Costco's already packed, because you can see people circling the parking lot. I was like, of course. It's like the time.
Long weekend too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does your wife do all the shopping then?
I go with her. I just try to
put the blinders on.
Well, I just break it up. That's what I say. We walk. So we try to always live close to a grocery store we can walk to. So you just get a couple things, and you make, like, after work, go for a run, whatever. And then 7 p.m. comes. It's like, all right, after dinner, let's just walk to the grocery store and get a few things. That way she can get me to come with her. Otherwise, no, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, quiet grocery store is one thing, but like Costco, Walmart, Superstore, those places are off limits. I can't do it.
I won't go into Walmart. It's way too hectic in there.
It's brutal. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bash anything on your podcast, but the last time I was in a Walmart, I joke about this. It's like the problem I have with Walmart is they have groceries. But I don't want to buy groceries from Walmart, because the last time I was in a Walmart, I think was in Edmonton still, and there's like a pair of jeans like strung across the bananas. It's like, do I want to eat that now? Yeah. Like, it's not like going to, a grocery store. You go to Save on Foods and it's like, oh yeah, here's all the vegetables. Yeah. There's not like some guy's pants, like in Tim Hortons cups, like empty Tim Hortons cups right beside the produce. It's like, I don't know.
I think I'm a little bit like you in the sense of going to Costco. I will go and do it, but I'm the guy, and I'm head down, and I know what I need, and I go, and then, I mean, did you say your wife's 5'2"?
Yeah.
Okay, so my wife is 5'2" as well, and their legs are very short. They walk slower, and so I have to.
And they can't help it.
Yeah. They have to take 3 steps for one of ours.
Yes.
But I'll be 8 lanes down, and she's coming along looking at the peanut butter or whatever it is, and I'm here. I need this. And I could be in and out of busy Costco as long as I'm not stuck in the line. But for like getting the items I need, I bet you I'm like 12 minutes. Man.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
Like, I know you're talking about. You don't really know what the next big thing's going to be for you. What do you think will help you find that spark?
I've toyed with a few things. I mean, I shouldn't say there's nothing. I haven't, for races, other than like I want to do Cocodona again, but I think you mentioned rim to rim to rim. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. I'd like to, there's the Sunshine Coast Trail in BC. I grew up in Paul River, and it's like 180 kilometers of tough terrain. I'd like to do that, and like I say one go, but I mean I'd have to nap somewhere. I'd like to do that. There's a friend of mine back home who's expressed some interest. I could see myself like getting out and doing that. And
so not necessarily a race, but like just
some kind of like
big
something to push
stuff.
myself, right? And again, I want to go back to Cocodona for sure at some point, but I mean, maybe it doesn't happen, right? I never know. I think it's probably going to end up being a lottery because it's getting so popular. And if like financially and if not for work, I probably would have signed up again for this year, but it's tough to say to Cheryl, like, hey, we're going to do our vacation here again. I had to promise her, like, no, we're not going again. 2027, she's like, yeah, you can go back, but it's like, will I get in now? Because it's getting so popular. So I'll find something. I mean, I don't know. I just want to be out, right? Just be outside, get away from it all.
In any times during your leading up to Cocodona or during Cocodona itself, did you feel like, hey, I'm not a runner. This isn't for me. Like I should just tap out and take the DNF?
Like during the race?
Or like leading up to it? Like maybe you're like, it's a harder week at work and you're putting the miles in and you're like, fuck, like I could just stop. I don't have to do this. Like questioning yourself.
I'd be lying if I said that didn't sneak into my head a couple times where I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like it was a tough time because I mentioned before we started that our place flooded in December, so we were living in Airbnbs, and one was really nice, one was really subpar, and they just had a rough go in there, and it was like that with working full time and bad weather. Yeah, there was a few times where I'm like, why am I doing this just to go run in the desert for 4 or 5 days? Like, is it worth it? And I'm so glad I did it, though. I'm so glad I pushed that aside because it would creep up. I don't think there was a time where I ever seriously thought I wouldn't, but unless it was injury or something. But no, I think I did a good job of silencing that.
They've done lots of studies with hospice, and they ask them about regrets, and it's not the things they did that they regret. It's always the things that they didn't do.
And that's got to be true, right? Like I would think that.
So you're not going to regret signing up for Cocodona and then going to do it. You're going to regret
if I didn't
having quit before you got there.
Exactly. And that's a guy I know from Squamish had a good line. You can't finish what you don't start. And that always stuck with me. And it's just like, it's true. Like you never know what's going to happen until you get out there.
How do you get yourself out of bed and train on the days that you don't want to?
Just mindset, I think. It's just like, I think about that long term, what I want, right? What that goal is. And I dreamed of that finish line and getting there. And I know that was a step I had to take, as much as like I would wake up and it would be 3 degrees and raining in February. And I'm getting up to Wren in the pouring rain to my office to work. I didn't want to do it. Like, of course I didn't. It'd be so easy but I would feel so much better after. Like then the next day would feel so much easier where I didn't get up, because it would always be Tuesdays for sure. I would run to and from work. And then I think Fridays I had a schedule, but Wednesday felt easy. You know, I'd get to like the extra 15 minutes of sleep and I get to drive to work, you know? So it was like, I can tough out this day. And I think that mindset helped me. Like I said, when the size of Cocodona, when I would just break it down to segments, it's like, I can get through 20K to the next aid station. It was just like that. It was the same idea. Like, I can get up and run the 10K to work. I can do it because it's building. So I think it was just mindset. It was just like wanting something really bad that I was willing to just do it.
You talked about breaking up Cocodona into the smaller sections. Do you look at problems in your life now and break those up into smaller sections as well?
I think so. I think that's you just never know what's going to happen in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you know, things can turn fast, right? So if you just have that outlook, I think it helps. I think it just, otherwise it just seems, everything seems insurmountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to face some fears. There's some things you're going to not want to do. And if you face it head on and just deal with it, I mean, you come out of the other end stronger. So
Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing the damn thing anyways.
nice.
Because you're always, fear's a real response. It's a response that your body's trying to keep you safe. But you can do something. I mean, so I will never jump onto an airplane. I'm terrified of that,
No,
the chute not
I
opening.
agree, yeah.
But your first time anyone goes up, you're still terrified. And you
Yeah.
jump out of that plane, you're
You
still going to
did
be
it.
scared. But it's that courage to just to do it anyways.
And it's funny you brought up fear because I have a thing in my, I can show it to you.
Yeah.
So I got this at a Chinese food restaurant like a month before my race.
Was it in a giant fortune cookie?
It was in the fortune cookie, and it says, being aware of your fears will improve your life.
Yeah.
And I liked it because I was like, right when I was about to head out and do this big thing, and there were certain aspects, of course, I was worried about, like the, running in the night somewhere I've never been, and these certain trails were very technical, and it's just like, being aware of your fears will improve your life. And I like that because I'm like, yeah, it's true. I know what I'm worried about, but if I face it and just deal with it, it'll be easier.
Anything else, Chase? You wanna say? Do you do like social media and stuff? You want to get some people to come?
I do have like, well, I have Strava.
Yeah. How do they follow you on Strava?
Chase Martini. I
All
dropped
right.
the G on Strava, but I'm there.
Okay.
And then I do have Instagram, which I don't really post. I did post 2 things from Cocodona on there, so I don't really post a lot on there, but it's not really, I'm not the best at it, but I'm going to try to do a little more as I do adventure more. And it's Chase the summit.
Chase the Summit. All
Yeah.
right.
So that's my Instagram, and going to be starting a rent club with a couple friends
Oh, okay. Yeah.
in Tri-City area. It'll
Yeah.
be,
Let's talk about that.
it's going to be called Inlet Trail Club or Inlet Rent Club. And it's my friend Alex who paced me
Yeah.
out at Cocodona for 130 plus K. It was actually his sister Jessica who had the idea. Hey guys, we should start a rent club, because there really wasn't. I think a lot of rent clubs are very social now, so we were like, let's just do a rent club where we just go rent in a trail for an hour and then just call it. So we're just like, let's just do Tuesday nights. We'll just get something going. We'll just meet at a different place around. And so we're going to be firing it up in September 9th. I think Tuesdays at 6:30 will be the first one. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to see what kind of crowd we get. I think we know enough people, and hopefully it works out.
And if there's not one there, people will be itching for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the rent club actually where I know your mom from, Vicky. She from H4H, that's a Wednesday, so we're not stepping on their toes, and they're more like much more social. Like they ran and go for a beer after, and we're just going to be like show up in the trail, run.
Nice.
And I mean, people are always welcome to be social. We're not going to be. We joke that it's an anti-social rent club, but it's not. It's not going to be that. It's going to be, I mean, a way to just get out for an hour, get a run in, and I think it's more geared towards like those nights, Tuesday nights, when it's dark and nobody wants to go, and maybe the weather's not the greatest, and you don't really want to go run by yourself. I think it's going to be great for those kind of nights and just get people out.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. I mean,
It's very easy to quit on yourself. It's very difficult to quit on the group.
exactly. And it's that group, like you said, that group mentality, which I think is a big part. And you're right. It's like you don't want to not show up when your buddies are waiting for you, right? But if you're just going by yourself, sure. Like, I don't want to run Tuesday night. It's raining.
Yeah. How would you feel if it took off monumentally and you've got 150 people showing up when you don't like to be in the crowd? Too successful.
That's a good point. I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. No, I would be comfortable with that. I mean, I can't imagine that being that busy, but we probably don't want that many people on a trail. But I mean, it would be great. I mean, it's community, right? I just want more people to experience the community like I have. And if you can get more people out and I said, this is a community that picks each other up, which
Yeah.
is, I said, I think was just people need nowadays. I think there's so much division and so much like unnecessary, I don't know, people just need that connection, I think.
As I said before when we were coming in, you're like, I didn't know what you were going to ask and everything. It's just, we're just here having a conversation and see what comes up. And I often feel after I leave these, it feels less like meeting a new person and more like catching up with an old friend.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of how you phrased it to me. And I was like, we'll see. But no, it's been cool. Yeah. I definitely feel like that. It's been really good.
All right. I'm super looking forward to, I'm going to follow you on Strava and I'll send you a message. Be like, when's the next big one, buddy?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I officially come up with something.
Yeah. All right. After your next big one, you'll have to come back on and tell us how things went differently and how you prepared for it, because I'm huge on like mindset and stuff. That's why I think I like to talk to so many athletes, as it's like mindset for business and for athletics. They're so similar. And if you can right your boat and correct your mindset, I think there's not a problem or an obstacle that anyone can't tackle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Chase.
Well, thank you.
All right.